Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we will cover the topic of gastric adenocarcinoma. Gastric cancer is of different types, but the most important one is gastric adenocarcinoma. There are other types of gastric cancers, including lymphoma, carcinoid tumors, or leiomyosarcoma, which will be discussed in other videos. Here we will discuss adenocarcinoma in detail. Gastric adenocarcinoma is mainly of two types. We have intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma, and then we have diffuse type of gastric adenocarcinoma. The gastric adenocarcinoma is a cancer which has a very poor prognosis because it has no specific signs and symptoms, and the specific signs and symptoms develop very late in disease. So it is diagnosed at later stages, and eventually it has very poor prognosis. As we know that there are mainly four parts of the stomach. There is cardia, fundus, body, and the pyloric antrum. Um, at the end of the stomach, there is a sphincter which is known as pyloric sphincter, which is closed when the stomach is filled with food, so that there is proper digestion of the food. The lining of the stomach consists of mainly four layers. The outermost layer is adventitia, then we have muscularis mucosa, then we have muscularis layer, then we have submucosa, and then we have mucosa. These are the four layers of the stomach. And eventually, the mucosa is the layer which is in direct contact with the food. This mucosa, which is the innermost lining of the stomach, further consists of three layers. The innermost is the epithelium. There is epithelial layer, then we have lamina propria, and then we have muscularis mucosa. The epithelial layer consists of different types of cells which are responsible, each having a different function. Okay. This epithelium of the stomach moves downward below the surface of the stomach, and it results in the formation of gastric pits. It will dip downward like this, and it will result in the formation of a gastric pit. Below the gastric pits, we have gastric glands, and these gastric glands are having different types of cells. For example, we may be having there are foveolar cells, and these foveolar cells are responsible for the formation of mucus, and this mucus is rich in water and glycoproteins and providing protection to the inner lining of the stomach. Then we have there are parietal cells which are responsible for the release of HCl. Then we have chief cells which are responsible for the formation of pepsinogen, and then we have G cells which are responsible for the release of gastrin, which in turn stimulates the parietal cells for the release of HCl. Now, there are certain signs and symptoms which appear in case of gastric adenocarcinoma, but before them, we will discuss what are the reasons of developing the adenocarcinoma. First of all, we will discuss intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma in detail, and then we have diffuse type of gastric adenocarcinoma. So, first of all, there is intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma. There are different factors which are responsible for causing the intestinal type of the gastric adenocarcinoma. The most important being is the H. pylori infection. H. pylori is the bacteria which is responsible for release of certain virulence factors. The most important is CAG-A. This CAG-A causes serious damage to the epithelial lining of the stomach. When there is damage to the epithelial cells of the stomach, then information goes to the immune system, and the immune system becomes activated. When there is activation, which causes an inflammatory response. As a result, there is continuous inflammation of the inner lining of the stomach, resulting in chronic gastritis. This chronic gastritis eventually leads to the replacement of the epithelium of the stomach by the intestinal epithelium, resulting in metaplasia. So we will call this type of metaplasia as intestinal metaplasia. When there is intestinal metaplasia, then the cells continue to divide. When there is rapidly and continuous division of the cells, then there are chances of the accumulation of mutations. The mutations may occur in tumor suppressor genes as well as they can occur in proto-oncogenes. Um, and when the mutations accumulate, eventually it results in malignancy, and the cancer invade and spread in other parts of the body also. This intestinal type of adenocarcinoma mostly occurs in the antral part of the stomach, in the pyloric antral part, and mostly on the lesser curvature of the stomach. And on gross, when we look at it, then it is a bulky mass. It is a bulky mass which is present at the lesser curvature near the pyloric antrum part of the stomach. Now there are certain signs and symptoms of the intestinal type of adenocarcinoma. One point should be kept in mind that this intestinal type of adenocarcinoma may also occur due to certain mutations in TP53 gene. Then there may be mutations in WNT pathway. There may be mutations in adenopolyposis coli, APC gene, or BAX genes. Okay, now what are the signs and symptoms of the intestinal type of adenocarcinoma? Number one, we have lesser Trillate sign. Lesser Trillate sign is a condition in which there is seborrheic keratosis. Actually, when there is intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma, then there is release of growth factors from the cancer cells. When growth factors are released from the cancer cells, then these growth factors cause stimulation of the keratinocytes which are present in the skin. When these keratinocytes are stimulated, then it results in increased production of keratin, as a result of which there is brownish black pigments which appear on the skin, and this is known as seborrheic keratosis, and the sign is known as lesser Trillate sign. Next, we have polyarteritis nodosa. Polyarteritis nodosa is a condition in which there is inflammation of the medium-sized arteries, especially arteries of the kidneys and the arteries of the heart are involved. So we can say that intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma can lead to kidney failure, as well as it can lead to myocardial infarction. Then there is another syndrome known as Trousseau syndrome. Trousseau syndrome is a condition in which there is a migratory thrombophlebitis. How does it occur? Actually, when we are having intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma, then these gastric cells are responsible for release of certain tissue factors. These tissue factors result in a coagulation cascade, and eventually we have thrombosis, and it results in a sign known as Trousseau syndrome known as Trousseau syndrome. Then there is another sign which is Sister Mary Joseph sign. This Sister Mary Joseph sign is actually a condition in which we have the metastasis of the tumor, and this metastasis start involving the periumbilical lymph nodes. When there is involvement of the umbilical lymph nodes, then there is also swelling in these nodes, and a sign appears which is known as Sister Mary Joseph sign. Okay, next there is another sign which is known as which is known as Trousseau sign. In Trousseau sign, there is metastasis of the cancer to the left supraclavicular lymph node, and this left supraclavicular lymph node has another name which is known as the Virchow lymph nodes. And when there is inflammation of these Virchow lymph nodes, then the sign is known as Trousseau sign. Then there is another sign which is acanthosis nigricans. The acanthosis nigricans is actually the blackening of the skin folds. For example, there is blackening of the skin folds at the neck. There may also be blackening at the axilla and other skin folds. This is known as acanthosis nigricans, and it is another sign of intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma. So up till now we have discussed lesser Trillate sign, which is actually seborrheic keratitis, in which there is blackening, brownish black spots which appear on the skin. Then we have polyarthritis nodosa. Then we have Trousseau syndrome, in which we are having migratory thrombophlebitis. Then we have Sister Mary Joseph sign. Then we have Froissart's sign, and then we have acanthosis nigricans. Moreover, there may also be a syndrome which is known as pseudoachalasia syndrome. Uh, Actually, sometimes it happens that when there is intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma, then it involves the gastroesophageal junction. And when there is the involvement of gastroesophageal junction, then it inhibits the emptying of food from the esophagus into the stomach, and eventually the syndrome appears, which is known as pseudoachalasia syndrome. So these are all the symptoms of these are all the signs of intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma. Then there are certain symptoms. What are the symptoms of this disease? When the disease is in early stages, then the symptoms are mild. For example, there may be only dyspepsia, dysphagia, nausea, or malaise. But when the disease progresses, then there are other signs and symptoms, including there is epigastric pain, nausea, and vomiting. Sometimes it happens that there is bleeding in the ulcer, and it results in anemia. Then there is hematemesis, that is the blood in the vomiting, and there is melena. Melena means blood in the stool, and the stools are tarry black color stools, and they are difficult to flush, and they are very offensive smelling. Now, what are the risk factors of this disease? There are certain risk factors of the intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma. The most important one is the low socioeconomic status. Low socioeconomic status, then we are having the family history, then smoking, alcohol consumption, increased weight, increased age. Uh, there it is should also be kept in mind that the intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma is more common in males as compared to females. The male to female ratio is 2:1. Then H. pylori infection increases the chances of the disease, and achlorhydria it also increases the chances of the disease when there is a partial gastrectomy in case of peptic ulcer disease. Then achlorhydria may also increases the chances of this adenocarcinoma. Then there are pernicious anemia. When there is pernicious anemia or autoimmune gastritis, diet which is rich in nitrates or nitrosamines, and increased salted or pickled foods, and a person having type A blood groups, these all are the risk factors for the intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma. Then how we can diagnose the disease? We can diagnose a disease by endoscopy. With the help of endoscope, we can visualize the disease as well as we can take biopsy. Then there is X-ray barium chest, and then we have abdominopelvic CT scan. With the help of abdominopelvic CT scan, we can determine whether there is any metastasis or spread of the disease or not. Then what is the treatment? If the disease is in its initial stages, then we can simply perform surgery. However, if the disease is in progressive stage, then there is palliative surgery, and post surgical chemotherapy is given. One point should be kept in mind that the prognosis of the disease is very poor, because it has no specific sign and symptoms during its early stages, and as a result, overall survival rate is very low. This disease can metastasize when we have intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma. Metastasis can occur, and the most important organs which are involved in metastasis are the peritoneum. Then we have varicose lymph nodes, and then there is spread to there may be spread to the ovaries. When there is spread to the ovaries, then the tumor which is formed in the ovary is known as Krukenberg tumor. Then it may also spread to axillary lymph nodes or to the pouch of Douglas. These are all the areas where metastasis can occur in case of intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma. Now, what is the morphology? First of all, we will deal with the gross appearance of the tumor, and then we have histological features. This is the gross appearance of intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma. We can clearly see a tumor which is a bulky mass, and it has heaped up margins, that is, the margins are present above the surface. Heaped up margins, and in the center we have an ulcer present. There is central ulceration. This is the central ulceration. There are heaped up margins, and we have a large bulky mass which is present mostly at the antral part, lesser curvature of the antral part of the stomach. So this is the gross appearance. Now what is the histology? In case of intestinal type of adenocarcinoma, we can see the glandular appearance of the cells. The cells are arranged in the form of glands. These are the glands. Some of the glands are also having papillary processes. These are the papillary processes of the glands. And in the center of this gland, this hole is a gland having papillary processes, and in the center of the gland there is a necrotizing material. So these all are the glands. These are the glandular appearance. In case of intestinal type of adenocarcinoma, we have glandular appearance, and this is actually the muscularis layer, and this tumor is invading into the muscularis mucosa. This is the muscularis layer. Again, this is the intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma. We can see the glandular appearance. Cells are arranged in the form of glands, and around these glands there is sphere desmoplastic response of the stroma. This is the necrotizing material, and these are the cells which are hyperchromatic cells. They have hyperchromatic nuclei, high nuclear to cytoplasm ratio, and a desmoplastic response of the stroma. Again, this is gastric adenocarcinoma which has spread up to the esophagus, and it is infiltrating the mucosa of the esophagus. These are the glandular appearance of the cells. Cells are arranged in the form of glands, and in the center necrotizing material can be seen. This is again, we have intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma, and cells are arranged in the form of glands having high nuclear to cytoplasm ratio and hyperchromatic nuclei. This is again intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma involving the mucosa. Now we have the other type of adenocarcinoma, and it is the diffuse type of the gastric adenocarcinoma. The diffuse type of gastric adenocarcinoma is far more aggressive as compared to the intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma. Previously, in case of intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma, we have discussed that it may occur because of certain mutations. For example, there may be mutations in TP53 gene, or we have said that there are mutations in APC gene or BAX gene. Similarly, in case of diffuse type of gastric adenocarcinoma, there may be mutations. There may be mutations in TP53 gene or in BRCA2 gene, but the most important gene which is involved in diffuse type of gastric adenocarcinoma is CDH1 gene. When there is mutation, CDH1 gene is actually a tumor suppressor gene, and when there is mutation in CDH1 gene, then there is loss of function of this gene. This gene is responsible for the formation of EC adherin. When there is no EC adherence, then cells are not able to held to one another. Cells are no more cohesive to one another, as a result of which there are increased chances of the spread of the disease. There are increased chances of the spread of the tumor, increased chances of metastasis. Moreover, this CDH1 tumor suppressor gene is also responsible for controlling the cell cycle. Thus, it has two functions. Number one, it is controlling the cell cycle. Number two, it is holding the cells together. When it is lost, then the cells are no more adherent to one another. Then number two, there is no more control of the cell cycle, and the cells divide rapidly and aggressively. As a result, tumor can spread eventually to other organs of the body. In case of diffuse type, in case of intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma, we have said that it is mainly involving the glandular epithelium of the mucosa, glandular mucosal epithelium. In diffuse type, all the layers of the stomach are involved. And when all the layers of the stomach are involved, then these layers become hardened, and there is thickening of the walls of the stomach, and it results in the formation of the walls like that of a leather bottle. This is known as gastric linitis or linitis plicata. Here we can see this is the intestinal type of adenocarcinoma, and it is the diffuse type of gastric adenocarcinoma. Here we can say that we can see that the walls of the stomach are not much thicker. Here we can clearly see and we can clearly differentiate the thickening in the walls, and it is just looking like a leather bottle. This is known as linea plicata. This is linitis plicata. So this is linitis plicata or gastric linitis. Now come to the histological picture. This is the histology of the intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma. As we have previously said, there is the cells are arranged in the form of glands. In diffuse type, the cells are not any more adherent. Cells are these are the cells which are not arranged in the form of glands, and these cells are showing a typical feature of signet ring appearance. This is the signet ring appearance. In the center, mucin material is present, and the nucleus is present at the periphery. Again, this is the diffuse type of gastric adenocarcinoma, in which here cells are present and showing signet ring appearance. Then we can see these are the cells and showing the typical appearance of signet ring. Now there are certain differences between the two types of gastric cancers. In intestinal type of gastric cancers, there are certain risk factors, as we have discussed earlier, that the diet which is rich in nitrates or nitrosamines, then increased intake of salt or pickled food, or a type A blood group, or H. pylori infection, autoimmune gastritis, pernicious anemia, A. chlorhydria, chronic inflammation of the stomach, intestinal metaplasia. These all are the risk factors of the intestinal type of gastric adenocarcinoma. In case of diffuse type, there are no such risk factors are involved. There is no relation to H. pylori infection. Then in case of intestinal type, we have seen that there is no signet ring appearance. In case of diffuse type, there is signet ring appearance. Diffuse type is far more aggressive as compared to intestinal type, because here cells are no more adherent to one another. This is again the diffuse type of gastric adenocarcinoma. Here again there is a comparison between the two. This is the intestinal type and this is the diffuse type. Intestinal type, in which we can see the glandular formation, and in diffuse type we can see the signet ring appearance. Thank you.